Make Me Laugh Media presents Comedy Insights. We give you the scoop on all things comedy, such as
my first time I ever bombed,
my favorite comedy special.
What's it like to be a woman in comedy?
Is there a comedian that I grew up watching and I met him, I didn't like him?
I don't give a fuck. Them niggas know who they is. I got on their about that too.
Do I have any comedy groupie stories?
Bro, what was that question again?
You are watching Comedy Insights.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Malik S, and you watching Comedy Insights. Right now, you watching it. Who was the first person to take me on the road? Comedian or booker? Yeah, cause first comedian to take me on the road was Marvin Dixon, man. It's like my big brother in comedy. He actually got me started, so he was the first dude to take me. I think we went, I want to say it was Fort Myers, Florida, or Bahamas. I'm not sure. It was one or the other. My favorite place to perform, I would say it's weird because a comedy club is, it's up close and personal, so you like that. But to do like a arena, man, you do like, I remember I did a show with Dave Chappelle back before he became like super Chappelle. He was still Chappelle. It was like maybe 12,000, and that raw, when you get that laugh is. So it's a toss-up, man. Financially, if I'm the headliner arena, you want to get that bread. But for the art, comedy club is always better because they up close and personal. You could feel them. It's more intimate. First place I did stand-up was Miami Improv, Coconut Grove. I remember that. That was February 2000, 23 years ago. First time I did stand-up, man, I didn't even have any jokes because I didn't know you were supposed to write jokes because I didn't know there were such things as comedy clubs. I only seen comedy on TV. So I just thought, and every time I would see a comedian on TV, they was doing something new. So I thought you just always did something new. So when I went to the comedy club, when I did open mic, I just went up there and improv and did pretty good, did good. Actually, I did really good. I just don't remember what I said because it was all improv. And then when I went back the next week, I saw the other open micers doing the same jokes. And I was like, well, I thought you only do it one time and that was it. And then as I realized like, oh, so you just, okay, all right. So then that's when I started writing jokes. My favorite city to perform in, oh man, that's hard, boy. That's gonna be between Houston and Atlanta. Because the crowds are just like comedy goers, comedy connoisseurs, and they appreciate comedy. And it's just love, man. Like, I love coming to Atlanta. I love performing in Houston. Honestly, the whole Southeast is dope, but Houston and Atlanta, I'll be like, they tie for me. First comedian I saw live was the Kings of Comedy. That was my first comedy show. Like I said, I didn't know there was such a thing as comedy clubs where you could go to a comedy club every week. I thought it was just done on TV. First time I went to a comedy show was when the Kings of Comedy was going out. So that was the first comedy show I ever saw. So I saw my first comedy show at the top, at the peak. So it was just like down here from there, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was my first comedy show. Ooh, first favorite comedy special, my favorite comedy special. I don't know that I have one, man. You know what I mean? I don't know that I can think of one off top that's like, oh, this is my favorite comedy special. I mean, there's a couple of them that's just, yeah, I don't think I have a favorite. I mean, I appreciate a lot of them and respect them, but if I had to pick, I guess it'd be Kings of Comedy just because that was like the first thing I ever saw, and then I saw the movie. The way I became a comedian was, I'll be honest, I wasn't one of them people that was like, oh, I wanted to be a comedian. I wanted to be a firefighter. One, that Kings of Comedy show that I went to with my best friend. We both was out of high school. I I, I was in college, but I don't even know if I was in college. I think I had dropped out of college. We was just working odd jobs, and we sitting at the comedy show, and Steve was on at that time, and Steve was doing his thing, but for some reason we sparked a conversation with my best friend. Was like, man, you could do that. I was like, man, you crazy? I ain't doing that. He's like, man, you just as funny as them. I'm like, what? And then he tells me that he's thinking about joining the military because we not really doing nothing with our lives. We working odd jobs. I was like, you gonna join the military? He was like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna try to play football. Because he used to play football in high school, but he messed up his grades his 12th grade year. So he's like, I'm gonna try to play football. We not doing nothing with ourselves. I was like, you serious? He was like, yeah. I was like, well, if you join the military, I'm gonna try stand up. So fast forward, 23 years later, he's about to get out of the military. He have been on there 24 years. So from that night, from that conversation, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you if we didn't go to that show. My comedy style, I think, is just I observe a lot, and it's just more so how I see the world, how I see things. It's not about like, oh, that's clearly funny. I'm gonna do a joke about that. It's more so like, oh, that's clearly funny to me. I'm gonna do a joke about that, and I'm gonna make it funny to other people. You know, so like, I don't just the joke has to be true to me somewhat. You know, like they say, every joke has a little bit of truth in it, and that's how I write my jokes. Like, it's a little fluff, but it's a little bit of honesty in there somewhere. You know. Before I go on stage, now that I'm older, I always gotta pee. I always gotta pee before I go on stage, and I say a quick prayer, and I get a little swig of water, so I don't go out dry off top. So I don't really have too much of a big old ritual thing, but just I take that pee, get a little drink of water, and let's go. First time I bumped. See, this is crazy because I hate this because it comes off like either unbelievable or arrogant. I'm not sure I actually ever like bombed. You know what I mean? Now I will say when I was doing comedy, I was young. I had just started doing comedy. I was in college. Now I'm back in college now. I'm doing comedy and I'm back in college. So I'm doing a comedy show at the school I go to. I'm green. I'm probably like a year in. And it's going okay. It's a dude in the front row. For some reason, I decide I'm just gonna pick on dude. Man, dude roasted my ass. He killed me. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'll give it up for the ladies. Like, I mean, this dude was funny as he was killing me. And it was my fault because everything was going well. And I decided I'm gonna say something to him. And that dude was funny. And he went to the school. So it's like, I gotta see this dude tomorrow. So yeah, that from that day on, I was like, I ain't messing with nobody unless they mess with me. Have I been acknowledged by a comedian that knew who I was? I want to say yeah. I just can't really think of who it was, but yeah, it was. You know what's crazy? I think it was Chappelle because even though I had did a show with him at the time, it was so long ago, and I had dreads and I was young, and it was just more like in passing. We didn't really interact, but later on we did. He was at Kevin Hart's Heartbeat Weekend, and I was doing it, and he was there hanging out. And he knew who I was. I was like, oh, shoot, you know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. Have I met a comedian growing up, and then when I met him, what? Have I liked a comedian growing up and met him in real life, and I liked him just as much? You know what? Yeah, I would honestly say I have, and it's crazy. They're both my mentors. D.L. Hughley and Cedric the Entertainer was the first host of Comic View. I think it was DL and then Cedric, and I ended up a short period when I first started doing comedy. I ended up going on the road with DL Hughley. Going on the road with DL Hughley, I bumped into Ced while I was on the road with DL. Then I started going out with Ced. And those guys were the first two Comic View hosts. So if you watch Comic View, you can't help but remember them. And I used to be like, man, these dudes are cold. They used to wear hats and suits. And then when I met them, it was just as cold and just as warm and just as welcoming. And to this day, still a very pitiful part, very important part in my career to this day. So have I met somebody that I watched doing stand-up growing up, and when I met him, I did like him? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, man. I ain't gonna say their name because they still working, and Hollywood is small. But yeah, I'm gonna say it one day. I'm gonna say it one day, though. I'm gonna say the name, and I'm gonna say it to his face. I can't wait to tell your punk ass, but not today. I don't have I ever stolen a joke by mistake on purpose. Uh, you know what? The honest answer is I probably did and didn't even know it. I probably did. Off top, I can't think of it, but I'm not one of them comedians to be like, oh, no, I probably did. When I was growing up, when you young and you look up to people, as a comedian, you sometimes tend to like even take on their mannerisms, even if they're not their joke, So probably happened. I don't know. But consciously, as I can remember now, I would say no, but who knows? Oh yeah, people have stolen my joke. Somebody just stole my. I was working this weekend with this comedian, and he did my joke in front of me. I had to tell him like, dude, that's me. And I told him like, if you want to keep doing the joke, you have to get off my show. And he was like, oh nah, man, my bad, because I had been wrote that, and I was like, nah, you have been stole that, like, cause it was so specific. It was literally word for word. I'm like, dude, yes, we all think alike, but we all on word for word. I was like, come on, God. Like, you steal so much, you didn't know you stole it from me. You actually believed that it was yours. Some comedy misconceptions is people think as a comedian, especially for me, I get this all the time. People sometimes think I'm mean or stuck up. I'm actually just kind of quiet. Like if I don't know people, I just kind of sit back in the room and observe and chill. But I think people think comedians are always supposed to be on 10 and it's always supposed to be like, I'm like, dude, that's a clown. I'm not a clown. Like I'm just a regular person, And people think you always supposed to be on. And I'm just like asking the mechanic to just be fixing cars all damn day while he out at the dinner. Like, dude, I'm chilling. What do I do when I get heckled? I roast their ass. I'm good now. I'm strong now. Yeah, I can handle it now. I go in, I destroy them. But still not in a mean way. More so in a like fun, just way. I never try to be mean and make people just leave a comedy show want to fight or crying. Like that kind of like defeats the purpose. But no, I get your ass. Do I have any janky promoter stories? The most janky promoter story I have, and I hope you're watching this if you're still alive or whatever happened to you, because I don't know whatever happened to this dude. Dude booked me for a show. I think it was in, I want to say Kentucky. We confirm. I fly up there. At this time, I'm just starting to. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. I get up there because I had a buddy pass, so I could fly free. Get up there, land, call him, no answer. I'm chilling, waiting. Long story short, I spent the night in the airport and got on that first flight back home the next day. Never heard from that dude. Never answered his phone to this day. I never heard from that dude. I don't know if he's alive, he in jail. I don't know what happened. But I ended up having this. This was back in the day. There wasn't no like video on your phone. So I'm just in the airport, just people watching. Comedy groupie stories. Yeah, I mean, I got a couple comedy groupie stories, but they probably best not say it because it's probably going to just bring problems later on. So, but just know, yeah, there is such thing as comedy groupies. Most embarrassing moment as a comedian was that time when I was performing in my college and that dude roast my ass. That dude, to this day, I was never let that go. That dude roast my ass. And hey, you know, I took it. I started it and he finished it. He ayuking my ass. My first fan moment it was crazy. This was like back in the day when BT's Comic View was on and it was just run all day. It would run every Monday through Friday at night. It would always just loop different. So you would be on TV back in that time. You could be on TV 5 nights a week as a comedian. So I remember the first time I'm just in the mall and I'm not thinking I'm nothing because I'm in my mind, you know, whatever. And then it was this dude. He was like, "Yo, you the dude from Comic View." He ain't know my name, but he was like, "You the dude," and I was just like, "Oh shit," you know. But I'm like, you know, you think I wasn't thinking nothing about it till he flamed out. I was like, At that time, I thought I was about to be a star, and then, nah, that didn't happen. If I'd had 5 more million of him, it would have been all. My truth about comedy life, man, I love this life, man. I love comedy. It's therapeutic. It has great financial gains. I mean, it helps people. I mean, you know, comedy has opened so many doors for me and it's still opening doors for me, man. So I love this thing, man. Even just sitting here doing this podcast is because of comedy. You know, a lot of things that I've accomplished in in my life was through comedy. I bought a house. I bought 3 houses doing comedy. My kids go to school. My kids in college. My son's in college because of comedy. So yeah, comedy's great. But just like anything else, it's not all fun and games. You know, behind the scenes, people don't see what a lot of comedians go through. There is a lot of sometimes financial hardship, depression. You know, that's very big in the comedy community. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm not depressed. I'm not totally sure. I'll be like, I don't feel right. You know, so, but I shake it off. I fight. I pray. And I try to stay focused, and then I fight that feeling. My advice to a new comedian, man, it's not even anything profound. Stay consistent, man. Stay consistent. Anything in this world that you do and you do it every day, you bound to get better at it. I don't care what it is. Whatever you do it consistently, you bound to get better at it. So it's like what they say, you know, hard work's big talent. That's facts. You know, 5 underrated comedians that people should know: Malik S, Malik S, Malik S, Malik S, and Ronnie Jordan. Because Ronnie popping right now. Ronnie popping. Ronnie doing his thing, man. There's so many though, man. To be honest with you, like to say 5. You don't got limit to 5. Okay, I do 5. 5 underrated comedians. Of course, me. To me, if you ask me, I'm the most underrated. When people finally see me, they be like, "Oh man, this dude is funny. I never heard of him." And I just be like, "What the hell am I not doing?" You know what I mean? Like, but I would say me, Malik S, Sean Larkins, Ali Sadiq, but Ali's popping right now, so I'm not sure Ali is underrated. Ronnie Jordan, JJ from the SIP. Who else? Was that 5? That was 4, right? Who's underrated? That's all I can think right now, but. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I see myself being on the 4th year of my own sitcom, being on the 4th season of my own sitcom, and being in movies and probably headlining mid-sized theaters. But you know, hey, God willing, maybe arenas. You know what I mean? My proudest moment in comedy was, you know, I hate to make it a financial game, but when when I was able to purchase a house in Los Angeles, California. If you know anything about Los Angeles, California, to buy a house there, it's a big damn deal. So that was a proud moment because it came from comedy. My first comedy dollar came from my man Marvin Dixon. He booked me, put some money in my pocket. Forever grateful. That's my big brother, man. That's my first dollar I ever earned, man. My first TV credit is BET's Comedy View. I caught a Greyhound bus from Miami to LA to do it for $150. That's how bad I wanted it. I'm not finna sit up here and make y'all think that Comedy View people was rich. No, we was grinding. I caught a bus. I didn't even have plane ticket money, but I knew I wanted it. I wanted to be on there. So I caught a bus round trip ticket. I didn't even have hotel money. A comedian who passed away, Big Daddy Fritz, let me crash on his hotel room floor the night I was there, and I caught a bus the next day to go back home for $150. I think I broke even. If not, I might have been in the red. By the time I put the bus ticket, ate, for that, because I was gone for a week. I think it took like 4 days to get up there, 4 days to come back, something like that, just to perform for 5 minutes. But I really wanted it. And now I'm here talking to you about comedy. A song about a woman I like to sing when I'm alone. Man, that's personal, dog. Like, I don't know if I should be telling y'all. You know what? Whatever, man. I enjoy Karen White Superwoman. There, I said it. Now what? Yeah, that's a solid song, dog. I'm not your super. Yeah, y'all know it. Y'all know that classic, bro. Come on now. It used to be so sweet. Come on now. That's classic. Yeah.
I knew y'all was special, man. You did what I'm saying? Y'all make me laugh for life. Hello.
I don't know how y'all gonna edit this, but put that in context, though. Yeah. It's just throw me out there. Yeah, he not a superwoman. Oh, that's funny, man.